Good morning. This is Angie Bell, Forevermore Goddess. How y'all doing this morning? I'm doing good. Let me get where I can. Okay. I did get me a little background set up somewhat. It's not perfect, but hey, it'll work for the time being. Well, the background's not important. The message is. The message I've got for this morning for the whole collective is I've been told to tell y'all to strike while the iron is hot. Meaning if there's some kind of action you need to take that you've been pondering on for a while, a paper you need to file, uh, a lawsuit you need to start, an investigation you need to start, or whatever it is pressing that you've been waiting on, if it's a new project, could be anything. Um, could be collaborations. Strike while the iron is hot. Now's the time for starting new ventures in that area. While usually in fall time it will be time to settle down, but now's the time to get started on a project because you can already be laying the groundwork over the winter season, and by spring it will be kicking into full gear. And then by summer, everything will be booming just right. See, there's a way to go about doing things. When you have to do a little leg work, fall time's a good time to start out on stuff because you can take your time and do the leg work and not get in no hurry. And the winter time lets you know that you got the whole season of winter, 3 or 4 months here, to lay the groundwork for whatever projects you need to do or go into to prepare for spring. So that being said, striking while the iron is hot can mean a lot of things. An iron being hot signifies changing the shape of something, which is a hard, there's a lot you can do with a hot iron. While the hot iron is hot, I'll leave that there and you ponder on what that means for you, because to each individual it's going to be different. It's going to be different as you take it how it resonates and however it sits in your soul for you to utilize for this time period. But I just wanted to note that right now I'm going to be laying down foundations and doing some leg work here for a project that I intend to get sparked up. I would like collaborations, but if I have to do it by myself, I'm used to doing that because I've been blocked, stopped, and thwarted before. So I can very well do a project by myself. There's some research I'd like to do on spirituality. There's some paperwork that I would like to write. And there's some basic things that I would like to discuss. Lots of things I'd like to do concerning that, particularly here in the South where I live. There's a lot of confusion, so maybe education about what it truly is and what's the difference in spirituality and religion is. I'd like to discuss that. Also, I'd like to introduce my friends and family to what the chakra system is and how this affects our balance in our bodies and how it affects our health in general, and how healing can take place with chakra alignment, and how you can align your chakras by getting in contact with your inner being. Get in contact, go within, see what when I went within, I started speaking to the cells of my body and asking them to regenerate for me. When I did that, my chakras started opening up. I went through the process. All those symbols you see on the little, the chakra posters that have the 7, colors and shapes. Okay. I went through every one of those was like a different universe in the colors when they opened up through my body. And the last one was a lotus flower. Okay. I saw these symbols within because I was in deep meditation. And finally, the Kundalini awakening took place. And during that time, I had the hardest time finding balance. I had a lot of conflict between religion, all my beliefs. I had to consolidate, and I had to finalize what it was that was important to me, and what it was that I was willing to ponder on, and what it was I was willing to solidify about that made me grounded and fruitful. So anyway, I went over pretty much everything you can think of because I know the Bible very well, and I studied other religions when I got older as well, so that I could understand, such as Buddhism, Hinduism. I haven't studied the Quran. I would like to. So if anybody has a copy of the Quran that you might be willing to donate or sell me, I would like to have one so that I can study it also and understand the Muslim side of things, because I'm not knocking anybody's religion. I'm not counting anybody out. We all have a part to play in this grand cosmic scheme of things. So I welcome that. I would like to actually have a conversation and discuss the differences of these different religions with people. So this is what I wanted to do my podcast about. And when I say strike 'em while the iron is hot, I think now there's a lot of confusion, and a lot of people are losing their illusions about what they thought things were versus how they truly are. So I would like to get together with a few religious figures or scholars or even community members and discuss this. I would like to have a variety of people to talk about the subject with on podcasts, and we could do that on meetups or however. But it's very important to me to get feedback, and I'd like to know right here in the community that I'm from how these things affects us in modern day versus how we thought, the difference in our mindsets when we were young and how they are now, say versus 30 years ago to now, and how we've changed. And I would like to discuss this and maybe give some of the younger people tips on how not to go down that road of being confused and have so much battles to have to go through to get to a point where they can learn to be grounded and aligned with what's best for your highest good. What's best for your highest good may not be the same thing as what's best for another person's highest good. Each person's gifts are different. Each person's spiritual calling is different in life. And some people don't really have a spiritual calling. They're more better at natural things. They may be, and it's still a spiritual calling. Even somebody who's good with animals, it's a spiritual connection to nature and to those animals that makes you be able to work with them well. So spirituality goes a lot further than people think it does. When you connect with another person, you're spiritually connected to that person. It's not that person's, that bond, for that bond to be made to begin with, it has to be a spiritual connection. It's some kind of a thread that you are entwining with each other that forms a bond. This thread is caused from a spiritual perspective. It starts in the ethers, and that bond is formed. And then in the physical, the bond is there. This person is always connected to you in spirit. You always remember the person's personality, how you feel, how they smelled, how they laughed, how they cried, the sensitivity, the coldness, whichever it is. Some bonds aren't always pleasant. Some bonds are formed through conflict. But I'm going to stop right there for a minute, and I'll get back on here later on.